Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you tuning in to these channels all over the world. My name is Jewel, aka Mr. Pristine, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Pristine Tech. Today I want to talk about a device that's been out for a little while. It's actually been out for about 4 months, and I want to entitle this video The Relevancy of the LG G5. I want to talk a little bit about this just because people ask me all the time, well, what's the point in reviewing phones that have been out for a little while? Well, my feeling is this. As long as people are still buying these phones, regardless of how long they've been out, then videos like this are very necessary because it's providing the consumers with information and could help them make an informed decision as to whether or not they want to spend their money on that particular device. A lot of people out there, they don't have to have the latest and the greatest. And to be honest, people, a lot of these phones, they all do the same things. They just do them differently. Some have, better processors so that they're able to do things much faster, a little bit more snappier, but they all do the same things. And so a lot of times these decisions as to which phone you want to get comes down to, the specs, different features, build quality, how the phone looks. In 2016, companies just aren't really putting out, devices that are just flat out just terrible. I paid $60 for the Amazon version of my Blue R1 HD, and as inexpensive as that phone is, I'd have to say it's one of the best all-around experiences that I've had in a while with any smartphone. So yeah, it's a matter of preference when it comes down to these things. But back to the LG G5. Just really quickly, to me, in my opinion, this phone is still one of the hottest phones on the market. I know this phone has gotten slammed for the way it looks. Me personally, I happen to like the way it looks. I think that the phone has a very unique look. It's a 5.3 Quad HD display. You see you've got your LG branding right there. You've got always on display. Let's turn to the left of the phone. We've got your volume rocker up and down. Back of the phone, this is the AT&T variant, and I believe that this is the 64 gig. Got your fingerprint scanner there and your home button. And we've got dual cameras here. One is a 16 megapixel camera, and the other one is an 8 megapixel camera for wide viewing shots. So you can choose your views. You could shoot it at a regular view for a picture, or if you want to get a wide angle shot to include more things in the picture, you can switch over to that 8 gig camera that looks really amazing as well, and go ahead and get a wider angle shot to fit more in the picture. So that's pretty awesome technology. The right side of the phone, we've got our micro SIM card tray, and I believe that there is also an SD card slot for expandable memory as well, which is a nice touch. Top of the phone, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, IR blaster, which I know a lot of people like that feature. Me, I don't really use it, so it's not really a big deal to me. And microphone. Bottom of the phone, we've got our speaker that sounds really good, microphone here, and we've got USB Type-C for fast charging and data transfer. So compared to a lot of the devices that are out right now, this device actually came out on the 1st of April. So this is 4 months later, and I still feel as though this phone stacks up very well against a lot of the phones that have come out to compete with this since the 1st of April until now. I still think that this is a great buy. You can get this right now at Best Buy, Amazon for I believe like $5.99 or $6.50 unlocked. It is GSM and CDMA unlocked, which means that you can use it with any carrier. You can use it with T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, Verizon, Boost, Cricket, Metro PCS, Straight Talk. You can use it with whatever carrier you want to. which is a nice touch. It's got a 2800 milliamp hour battery. Well, I know that it got some flack about that. Me personally, I'm not really a heavy user. I check my text messages and emails from time to time, and I don't have it set up to sync automatically. I sync it manually. And that's another thing that, I want to give some tips and tricks on how to expand your battery life. People, if you're not using Wi-Fi, turn Wi-Fi off. If you're not using Bluetooth, turn Bluetooth off. If you're not using location or GPS, turn it off, because your phone is constantly looking for these things to connect to, and it drains your battery. If you turn those things off and only turn them on when you need to use them, you will find that your battery life will last you so much longer than what it actually does when you have all that stuff turned on. So just a little tip on how to conserve some battery life. But with this particular phone, with the job that I do, I work a 12-hour shift. I'm in the medical field. I leave my house at 6 in the morning every morning. So I'm taking my phone off of the charger at about 5:50, 5:55. I start my shift at 7. I get off of work at 7:30 p.m. Okay? Now, by the time I'm clocking out to come home, this phone is still at about, depending on what I'm doing, maybe 65 or 70%, which is not bad after a full 12-hour day. And that's just with, a few phone calls, some text messages back and forth, maybe, checking Facebook, checking YouTube, responding to comments that you guys leave me, answering questions about different devices, streaming actual YouTube footage, studying information, and just various things that I like to look up with my phone, maybe doing a little web browsing. So the 2800 milliamp hour battery is actually pretty solid. I know that some people have made reviews and they said that it's terrible and it doesn't last, but another tip that I want to give people: try things for yourself, because everybody uses phones differently. The way that somebody else may use a phone may not be the same way that you use the phone. And so even though somebody may make a video saying that the battery is terrible, that may not be your experience with it. So if it's something that you really are interested in, I suggest trying it out for yourself before you just go off of what somebody else has to say about it, even what I'm saying. But let's see, it's another one of the only phones that have a Snapdragon 820 processor, which right now, as far as processors, is the cream of the crop. There's only a selected few of phones that have that processor. And I believe the Samsung S7 and the S7 Edge have the 820 processor. I know for a fact the OnePlus 3 here has the 820 processor. The HTC 10, I believe, has the 820 processor, and I know that the Note 7 that's going to be coming out soon has the 820 processor. Also, the ZTE Axon 7 has the 820 processor as well. So there's just a handful of phones that have this beast of a processor, and this is one of them. And so performance is great. As you can see, the fingerprint scanner works very well. It was nice and snappy. Flipping through the phone is nice and fluid. One of the things I love about these LG devices is that you can customize literally everything, all the way down to how you want to side scroll your apps. And so it's got this little carousel effect where you just swipe that. I mean, that is dope. I don't care what anybody says. To me, that's a sick feature. And so I'm all about the bells and whistles. But then this phone also doesn't have an app drawer. I know that some people slammed it over that as well. Get over it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, every phone doesn't function exactly the same, even though they do a lot of the same things. This is more so like the iPhone setup. iPhones, they don't have app drawers. So the more apps that you download to the screen, the more screens that are created. So as you see on this screen here, once I fill this screen up with apps to where there's no more room, if I download some more apps, then it'll just create another page for me to scroll to. Now, there are different, through the Play Store, there are different interfaces that you can download that actually have an app drawer. And so if that's something that you absolutely have to have and you want this phone, then you can just download it on the Google Play Store. And there's also an easy mode on here as well, where if you put it in easy mode, then the apps, they look a little different on the screen. And there is also There's also a button for you to go and where there's an app drawer for you to access. So again, just a lot of the LG branding. I feel like LG started this. The tap on, tap off. That's a good feature. The camera on this phone is still one of the best cameras out right now as far as cameras that you can find in a mobile phone. I'd have to say that this camera on this phone is one of the cameras that is as closest to a real deal DSLR camera. The camera on this phone is phenomenal. And so if you're into photography or you like taking HD or 4K quality videos, don't 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 overlook the camera on this phone. The camera on this phone is an absolute beast. I've taken some pictures with this phone. I've got baby girls, so I'm always flashing pictures, and so to me, the camera in a phone is very important to me. Um, let's see, it's got Corning Gorilla Glass floor for added protection, always on display. Again, that's a nice feature to have, so you don't have to touch your phone if you want to look at the time or check the date. Um, it's got 3D arc glass, which there is, I don't know if you can tell or not. I've got a case on my phone, but right there at the top, there's like a little arc right there. And it doesn't really do much, but I just like the way that it looks. I mean, it looks dope. It looks a little different from a lot of the other phones out there. And that's another thing that I'm into. I'm not really into having the same things that everybody has. It's like, you look to your right, you look to your left, you look to your sides. Everybody's got iPhones, everybody's got Samsungs. You know, this is different, and this is still one of the best phones out there. So as far as your cell phone swag, if you're in a crowd of people and all they got is Apples and Samsung, you can pull this out and you're sitting pretty just like they are. So no complaints with that there. 8 megapixel front viewing camera, which works really well with selfies. It looks really good. I believe it also has a wide angle lens, and so you are able to capture a lot in a selfie picture. If you want to take a group selfie picture with some folks, you can do that, and it looks beautiful. The color contrast is good. The colors, they pop out at you. They're nice and bright and vibrant as they ought to be. I'm not a photographer. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I watch a lot of these phone reviews and people, they talk about oh, these colors, they look washed out, and it's faded, or it's this and that. I just know what looks good to the naked eye. So it's like a lot of these cameras, I look at the pictures, and as long as I can see everything clearly and the colors look natural, then in my mind, that's a good camera experience. So I don't really get into the politics of the camera and things of that nature. But I know that there are a lot of different options that you can tweak for the camera to set it, pretty much to how you want it. But the manual mode, which is what I've been using, works fantastic. Um, so, what else can I tell you about this phone? Yeah. Oh, it's a modular phone. I think this is still to this day the only modular phone that there is on the market. This little piece right here slides off. And I think this is also another one of the only phones right now that has an actual removable battery. So considering the fact that this is Type-C charging, and it does have fast charging, it charges from 0 to 100 in, I believe, maybe 45 minutes, maybe close to an hour. It's not as fast as the OnePlus here. The OnePlus 3 is the absolute fastest charging phone that there is on the planet right now that I know of. I mean, literally 0%. You put this phone in and charge it, and literally in 25 minutes to a half hour, you will have, if not 100%, at least like 97, 98%. Pretty damn close to 100%, if not 100%. So the fast charging speed isn't as quite as good as the OnePlus, but it's good enough if you need to charge your phone. But the thing with Type-C, this is still an integrated technology that a lot of different phone companies are reverting to. And so a lot of phones don't quite have it yet. And so just about everybody has got a micro USB laying around, but that's not the case. And so you may want to carry a charger with you. if you don't have another battery. But the good thing about this phone is the fact that the battery is removable. So if you want to get another one, you don't have to worry about not having your charger. If you need to charge your phone, you just take the battery out, slap in a new one, and boom, there you go. No worries. You got a fresh battery. And I know that LG, they make a lot of like portable charging devices where you can charge an empty battery on the go. So that's a nice feature to have as well with this particular device. Um, the speaker quality, it sounds really good. Um, Video playback and even listening to music, it's very rich. It's got a little bit of bass to it, nice treble. Um, it sounds really good. It's not the Nexus 6P or the Alcatel Idol 4S or anything like that, where they've got the front facing speakers, or even the ZTE Axon 7 that has the front facing speakers. That sounds awesome. You're not going to get that type of experience with this particular speaker, but it does sound really well. And I don't know. I mean, I've been a fan of LG devices ever since the LG Dare back in the day, and I think that phone really helped push touchscreen phones. That was one of the best touchscreen phones back in the day, when touchscreen phones started becoming an actual thing. Um, so shout out to LG. They always make really good devices. A lot of people always feel as though they fall short to Samsung. Um, there's actually been some LG devices that I've actually liked better than some of the Samsung devices. Um, so I've had the G2, the G3, the G. I think I've just had every one of the G series phones. So I'm a big fan of these phones. But so yeah, 4 months later, LG G5, still a great buy. Again, this is the AT&T variant. If you want to buy this phone unlocked, you can. They got it at Best Buy for, I believe, $599 on sale. The regular price is $649.99. That's not bad at all, considering all the bells and whistles that are packed into this phone. The processor speed, you got 4 gigs of RAM. You see through the demonstration that I showed, everything works nice and fluently as it ought to. It's GSM and CDMA unlocked, so you can use it with any carrier. It has one of the absolute best cameras, if not right now, the best camera out right now. I know that the Note 7 is getting ready to drop on the 19th. I was in AT&T earlier, and I did compare the two because I was looking at some YouTube footage, and it was talking about how the camera quality was so great. And so I had to test it out on my own. And so I had my G5 and I had the Note 7 up there, and I gotta say that camera in that Note 7 it's no joke. It's a beast. It's definitely top of the line. But the LG is right up there with it. So anybody that is still interested in buying this device that is kind of questionable, or you feel like, well, the phone's been out for a little while and I want to get something newer, there definitely are options out there. Like, again, the OnePlus 3 here, you got the ZTE Axon 7, the Alcatel Idol 4S, just to name a few. Or like I said, you want to wait a couple of weeks, the Note 7 is coming. But my personal opinion, ladies and gentlemen, the LG G5 is still a great buy. It's still a great phone. It's still one of the cream of the crops right now. And so, yeah, if you like this video, and if you have this phone, let me know what your experience is. Drop me some comments in the link below. I'll do my absolute best to respond to you guys as promptly as possible. And again, I appreciate all the love that I've been getting, all the people that have subscribed to the channel. I thank you so very much. It definitely supports. Keep sharing the videos and keep watching them. I'm going to continue to pump out videos for you guys. I still got videos coming on the Idol 4S, the Alcatel, the ZTE Axon 7, and the Note 7 as well. So stay tuned for those. And in the meantime, please stay blessed, stay safe, and always, and I mean always, stay pristine. Until the next video, y'all. Peace.